Hey guys, it's Rec Magazine Weekly here with Dennis Mertzanis at the 2013 SEMA show over in the Konig booth. And we're going to talk tires, wheels, Formula Drift, maybe some Hyundai. How's it going, Dennis?
It's good.
So let's dig in real quick. 2014 Formula Drift, what's the plan for your team?
Plan is we're going to have a similar program,
Okay.
Same sponsors on board. We're going to start with a new car. It's the same platform. But we're just going to start from the ground up. Last year's car was sort of half built before we started, and I think that's the reason why we had kind of so many issues. We just need to do a complete teardown on a new chassis, start from the ground up, and we'll have that reliability that we need.
Land to V6 still?
Maybe.
Ooh, all right.
I don't know yet. I can't say.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Doesn't sound very likely though.
Well, I tell you what, that V6. I think Dallas Thursday practice was our best event, and we have that engine dialed in. I mean, that car, the suspension, it was so fast, it did everything perfectly. So if we go with it, it won't be a bad thing. I mean, it was a fast car, but we may make some changes.
Awesome. And now Hyundai's got a crate motor program.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you know that.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So you can do a 2-liter, 3.8-liter crate motor.
Yeah, that's true.
It's kind of cool. I want to put a 2-liter turbo on our Project Veloster.
Yeah,
maybe
that's
we
a
can
good
talk
idea.
about that after the show.
Yeah, but you got to make it rear-wheel drive too. That'd be even better.
You're the Hyundai drivetrain engineer.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Sounds like fun, right?
Yeah. Well, before we get too off topic, I guess. So you're basically redoing a whole Hyundai Genesis.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard too, it's going to look like the Hyundai Arc unveiled here at SEMA. It's going to have like full Legato kit.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Awesome. So, like 2013 ended up being really not great for you guys.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Where do you think a lot of that came from? Was it just because the car was kind of like, because the deal came together pretty last minute too, right?
It was a very last minute deal, and like I had mentioned earlier, the car was kind of half built, so there were things that, we had to do the important things to make it to Long Beach, and there were some other things that we needed to do over, but it tends to take more time to do things over. And they were always on the agenda, and we were knocking them out throughout the year. That's why the car got a lot faster and better throughout the year. But just there were some gremlins in there that kept popping up at the wrong time.
Do you know your rough power and torque numbers out of that Genesis?
Almost 600 for both. Like we're around the 550, 590 for horsepower torque. Yeah. But
you're also a little bit heavier than some of the other cars on grid too.
Yeah, we're about 200 pounds heavy. From what I've a lot of the guys, they'll run 265s and they'll be like 100 pounds heavy. So really competitively, we're about 100 pounds too heavy at the minimum. So we want to shave. That's why we want to start over to get a much more efficient car. We're going to do a lot of like lightning things that we're allowed to do in the series. Those things are really hard to do, like when the engine's in and everything's already built.
Yeah, you're really need a full disassembly.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really excited about getting weight out of that car and putting weight, in the right spot. So.
Have you guys gotten any like official involvement yet from Hyundai directly, or is that something you guys are working on?
Well, the way it's working with ARC is there's sort of two different programs. We have the drifting program and they have their SEMA program, and as of yet, nothing has really, they haven't merged yet, but we would like to keep everything Hyundai. We would love to work with Hyundai directly, but it takes time with big companies like that, so.
All right, Dennis, so you've been partnered with Konig now for almost longer than I can remember, 4 years?
4 years, yeah.
Awesome. Now, they came out with a new wheel that I don't even know if they care about or want me to talk about. I'm not even sure, but I'm going to show it to you because I've been showing it to everyone. This is a 19. It's made with their, spun forge technology or whatever.
Nice.
It's called the Intergram. Tell me if this is the best looking wheel Konig has ever made.
It's a good looking wheel.
Pretty close.
Yeah, it's a good looking wheel.
I'm not sure. I don't know what their sizing is 18, so I don't know if you'll be able to run this in the Genesis, but
it looks like
good.
Yeah, it looks like we'll be able to run it.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a cool performance oriented wheel. And I guess they're calling that technology now with Konig like RRF.
RF?
Yeah, RRF. Yeah.
RRF.
But I mean, for a 19, like this thing is, it's pretty light.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know.
Not bad at all.
I mean, you're more the engineer guy. What do you think 18-wise, like where's this going to probably sit weight?
Weight-wise, on a wheel like this, I would say it's probably, roughly a pound an inch. Like
Okay.
18-inch, 18 pounds. I think my the milligrams from before are about that. They
Around
weigh
the
in a
same?
little over 18
It's maybe like
pounds
20 pounds for an 18 or so.
No, I think those are like 18 and a half
Okay.
pounds for 18, so it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, so this is probably like 19 and a half, 20 pounds for 19, which is
So let me
really
ask
good.
you this, because I'm not, you're the engineer here,
Yeah.
by all means, and not me. How important is like rolling mass, I guess, like rolling rotation in like a drift car? Like,
Well, it's really important in all cars because
okay,
that unsprung weight is important. It affects the reaction of the suspension and the geometry.
Okay.
In drifting, the rear wheels are spinning really fast and they're stopping and spinning again. When you e-brake, for example. So, and also overall, you want the car to be as light as possible. And there's always a lot of weight with the wheel and tire setup. I mean, usually it's about 50 pounds a corner. So if you're 200 pounds is hanging off the edges of the car, So the lighter you can get that, the better off, you're going to be overall. The rear wheels being lighter specifically for drivetrain, you're, like I said, you're e-braking, then you're back on the throttle, so everything's like stopping and then starting again. So, as something heavy is spinning, it takes a lot more force to stop it and get it spinning again. So it tends to help, keeping the weight down.
so even just really like running any kind of lighter wheel, you're just kind of putting less wear on expensive
Less
parts?
stress, I guess.
Less stress.
That's a good way to summarize it. Yeah.
Okay. Let's dig back into the Hyundai just a little bit too, because there's something I thought of in talking about that. What kind of challenges are you guys running into Hyundai suspension-wise, Hyundai drivetrain-wise? Because really, other than Reese Millen and some guys in Korea, you guys are really the only guys ever drifting a Hyundai. So, like, are you seeing challenges with the drivetrain, suspension issues like that?
Well, we did early on, but we've got some help by Part Shop Max with some front end, control arms and stuff, and then in the rear as well. The arms that they sell are very good with correcting a lot of the geometry. And as you know, Formula D, we have the rules where we can move things around in the back to get, to add and subtract grip. Mm-hmm. And we kind of got lucky, to be honest. I mean, we haven't had a lot of test time, but I saw what the rear wheels were doing under compression, and I made some pretty drastic moves, and we put the car in the right place. And I'm really, really happy the way it drives. I mean, the side bite is excellent, of course, with the Kenda tires. And then the forward grip is also amazing. We did. The car ran the best it's ever ran in Dallas Thursday practice, and we were keeping up with everyone, and the car was, I could put it everywhere it needed to be. So we made some drastic moves and it paid off. But the rear suspension was it's got a lot of arms back there, and to know what to do, sometimes it's trial and error, a lot of testing, so.
Right, but I mean, at least with all those arms in the rear, correct me if I'm wrong, you can't move where they mount to the chassis, but you can move where they start, correct? Like, basically?
Well, you can move where they mount where they mount inboard.
Right.
So that would be around on the subframe. You can move that within 2 inches anywhere. So that gives you a lot of freedom, but it also gives you a lot of chances to make mistakes, right? Yeah, I mean, you have to know what
you got to know where you're putting
what you want to change.
points.
Yeah, and I saw some of the arms were at some drastic angles, and I changed them, and it ended up working out, really, really well. Actually, very simple modifications actually to get that car to drift really well. I was surprised at how easy it was to get it right.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
So you're one of the only guys that run Kendas in Formula Drift.
Mm-hmm.
But yet it's a real popular wheel in like the Pro-Am and the grassroots competition.
Yeah.
And actually even last time I was in Japan, I saw a lot of guys running Kendas. Tell us about the tire. Like, why are you kind of like the rogue Kenda man in Formula Drift?
Well, Kenda's a small company, right? And, to be honest, they like the smaller program. They also like working with me. I like working with them. Sort of like, same deal with Konig. We established a relationship, and we trust each other, and we do right by each other. It's never about the money. It's about the relationship, and the Kenda tire is, it really is a great tire. And, I feel like, we keep switching cars, and so every year we're like trying to learn a new car so we don't perform as well. But it's not doing the tire justice, and I think this year, being in the same chassis, we're going to start with pretty much the exact same car, just built a little nicer, right? And we should go out there and we should do really, really well, because that tire is an amazing tire. It can smoke really well. It has very good grip, and the wear is reasonable on it. I mean, when we were powering through Dallas, I mean, some guys were getting maybe 2 to 4 runs, and we were only getting like 6 to 8. So we were burning through them pretty fast, but not as fast as the other guys.
Right.
So it has the longevity, the grip. I mean, it has everything really that you would want.
Yeah. Now, if you're like a Pro-Am driver, you can apply, and Kenda has like a discounted tire program.
Like a racer
correct?
Support program.
Yeah. Do you know a little about the program you can tell us?
It's the way it works is you sign up, you fill out a form. It's very simple. I believe all of it's still online, and you get approved for a certain price depending on your size, and that price is shipped to your door.
Wow.
And again, it's not like the other tires that burn out so fast. For those guys on a budget, it's even better. It's an even better deal because they last longer with that similar grip level, and so it's a lot more cost effective for those guys.
So basically, you have the opportunity to get like a wholesale tire, like a half sponsorship type thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Kenda wants to see the grassroots guys do well. That's why they spend as much or more time and effort in the grassroots program. That's why I have a lot of respect for them, because they're not just jumping into the pro series and being like, oh, we only want to deal with pro guys at the big level. They really truly want to help the drivers coming into the series.
Why don't you tell little people about Kenda? I mean, because like personally, like I don't even know all the things they do. I mean, I'm not really into like the bicycle market and stuff. I know where they're kind of huge. Like for someone who's like, let's just say into drifting or lightly into cars or like whatever, they start drifting and they're not in these other segments. Like, what's Kenda's like roots? Like, how are they genuinely, I guess, involved in the market as a whole?
Well, their roots started from bicycle tires, and with that came they do motorcycle, they do golf carts, they do trailer tires. The automotive side of their tire program is actually the youngest section of their tires. I mean, they were established in 1962, so they've been around forever. And if you ever run across anyone who does mountain biking or road bikes, BMX, whatever, they always recognize Kenda as being one of the top tier tires.
So we kind of covered Kenda, we covered some Konig stuff. You're basically rebuilding your Hyundai Genesis.
Yep.
You still have your day job at Hyundai as a drivetrain engineer. When are you guys going to be testing, and when are fans going to be able to see of yours this new Genesis?
The plan is to be finished with the car early February, into January, early February. It's a little aggressive for what we have to do, but I think we can pull it off because we already have the plan. We know exactly what we need to do. We just have to do it.
Right.
So we're not learning anything new, rebuild. We're not reinventing the wheel with this car. So I anticipate early February we should start hitting some practice. Some testing, which I'm really, really looking forward to. I can't wait. Yeah, I'm really excited because I mean we had kind of a rough year, and so that really, fueled the team to say, okay, what do we need to do, and let's do everything we need to do. Nothing about we'll leave the stock transmission in. No stock transmission anymore. Even though it's a good transmission, it's strong, but as you know, FD, I mean. You got to have...
Stock transmissions are a little behind the curve.
Yeah, it's a little behind the curve. I mean, that was one of the issues in coming off the bank in Seattle. You go to shift fourth down to third, and I got stuck in the gate for half a second, and it put me touching that wall a little harder than I wanted to. I mean, that's a split second, and you're into the wall. Like, that's not really where we want to be anymore. We want that car to be perfect. And that's the goal. We're going to build it perfect.
Excellent. Well, Dennis, we'll see you in Long Beach. Good luck with the new car.
Yeah, thanks.
Appreciate it.